Most people spend years studying English and still cannot hold a simple conversation, and today we are going to tell you exactly why that happens.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Emma.
This is Fluent English Podcast, where we have real, everyday conversations so you can learn English just by listening.
Alex, can I ask you something kind of personal?
Yeah, of course. What's up?
Okay, so you've been learning French for, almost 2 years now?
Yeah, about a year and a half, maybe a little more.
And do you feel fluent?
No, not even close.
Right, and you study, regularly.
I do. I use apps, I watch videos, I even have a notebook where I write new words down. Old school, I know.
That's actually adorable. But here's my question. You put in all that time, you use all those tools, and you still don't feel confident speaking French?
Not really, no. I mean, I can order food, I can ask where the bathroom is, but if someone starts talking to me fast, I kind of freeze.
Okay, yes, that is exactly what I wanted to talk about today, because I feel the same way with Spanish. And honestly, I think a lot of English learners feel this way too. Like they study, and something is just not clicking.
Right, and that's frustrating because you're putting in the work. You're not lazy, you're doing everything you're supposed to do, and then you still feel stuck.
Exactly. So today, we want to talk about that. The truth about learning English. What actually works, what doesn't work, and why so many learners feel stuck even after years of studying.
And just to be clear, we are not English teachers. We're just two Americans who are also right now in the middle of learning other languages. So we kind of get it from both sides.
Yeah, we know what it feels like to sit in class and memorize grammar rules and then open your mouth and just nothing comes out.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, the thing that I think is the number one reason people don't improve as fast as they want to. And that is, most English learning happens in a bubble.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, you learn English in a classroom, or on an app, or from a textbook. And in that environment, everything is controlled. The sentences are perfect, the grammar is clean, nobody talks over each other, nobody uses slang, nobody says gonna instead of going to.
That's such a good point. Like when I'm studying Spanish, my textbook says Buenos días, ¿cómo está usted? But when I watch a Spanish video online, people are talking so fast and using words I have never seen in any lesson.
Yes, exactly. Real language is messy. It's full of shortcuts and filler words and expressions that don't translate literally. And if you only ever practice the clean textbook version, real conversations feel like a completely different language.
So what do you do about that?
You have to expose yourself to real language, natural conversations, like what we're doing right now. Listening to people actually talk, not perform.
And I think that's such a big part of why podcasts like this one can actually help, because we're not scripted in a weird robotic way. We're just talking, like two people who know each other.
Right, and when you listen to real conversation, you start to pick up things you can't learn from a book, like rhythm, like how sentences flow together, like the fact that native speakers almost never say every single syllable perfectly.
Okay, let's talk about something that I see a lot, and it's something I was guilty of too, especially when I was in school, and that is studying grammar way too much.
Oh yeah.
I spent so much time learning grammar rules, present perfect versus simple past, when to use which versus that. And look, grammar matters. I'm not saying it doesn't. But you can know every single grammar rule in the English language and still not be able to have a conversation.
Because speaking is a skill. It's like, okay, let me use an analogy. Let's say you want to learn how to drive a car. You could read every driving manual ever written. You could memorize every traffic law. You could study every diagram of how an engine works. But if you never actually sit behind the wheel and drive, you cannot drive.
That is such a good way to put it. And I think a lot of learners, especially learners who are really smart and really motivated, they fall into this trap where they feel like they need to know everything before they start speaking.
Like they need permission to speak.
Yes. Exactly. Once my grammar is perfect, then I'll start having conversations. But that day never comes, because your grammar will never feel perfect. There's always something new to learn.
So, what's the solution? just start talking, even if you make mistakes, especially if you make mistakes.
And this is something I really had to push myself to do with Spanish. I started talking to myself around the house, like out loud, just narrating what I was doing. I am making coffee. The coffee is hot. I like coffee. Very simple stuff.
That's actually a technique a lot of language coaches recommend. It sounds a little silly, but it works because you're practicing the actual act of forming sentences in real time without the pressure of another person watching you.
Right? And then when you do talk to someone, it feels a little less scary because you've already been doing it, kind of.
Okay, I want to talk about something that I think a lot of people don't realize, and that is the role of listening, like how important listening actually is.
Ooh, yes, talk about this.
So, when babies learn to speak, they don't start with grammar lessons. They just listen for months and months. They just absorb the language around them. And then slowly, they start to say words, and then sentences. And their brain has already built a kind of model of how the language works just from listening.
And as adults, we kind of skip that step. We go straight to, okay, teach me the rules. But the listening phase is so important.
Exactly. And the cool thing is, as an adult, you can be way more intentional about it. Like you can choose what you listen to. You could listen to things that are a little above your level, and your brain will start to fill in the gaps over time.
That's called comprehensible input, right? I read about this.
Yeah, the idea is that you should listen to or read English that you understand maybe like 80 to 90% of. Not 100% because then it's too easy, but not 30% because then it's just noise.
That sweet spot where you understand most of it, but you're still reaching a little.
Exactly. And over time, that reach gets easier and easier.
Okay, I want to bring up something a little uncomfortable, and that's the fear of making mistakes. Because I think this is maybe the single biggest thing that holds people back.
100%.
Like, I have a friend, and her English is actually really good, but she almost never speaks it around native speakers. And I asked her why, and she said she's scared she'll say something wrong and people will judge her.
That breaks my heart a little.
Me too. Because, native speakers make mistakes all the time. We mix up words, we forget what we were saying in the middle of a sentence, we use bad grammar in casual conversation.
Literally, all the time. I use me and him instead of he and I constantly. My English teacher would be horrified.
Right, and nobody cares, because in a real conversation, people are focused on the meaning, not on checking your grammar.
And honestly, when I hear someone speaking English as a second language and they make a small mistake, I'm not thinking, wow, their English is bad. I'm thinking, wow, they speak 2 languages. That's impressive.
Yes, that's such an important mindset shift. Mistakes are not embarrassing. Mistakes are proof that you are trying, that you're in the game.
And the more you speak, the fewer mistakes you make. But you have to speak to get there.
Okay, let's talk about some practical habits. Things you can actually do this week to improve your English.
Okay, first one. Listen to natural English every day, even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes. A podcast like this one, a YouTube video, a TV show you like. Don't just watch it passively, though. Actually pay attention to the way people talk.
Notice the words they choose. Notice how they structure their sentences. Notice the filler words they use, like and you know and I mean. Those are all actually really useful things to absorb.
Second habit, repeat what you hear. This is called shadowing. You listen to a sentence and then you say it out loud, trying to copy the rhythm and the pronunciation. It feels a little weird at first, but it is incredibly effective.
Third habit, and this is one of my favorites, keep a small notebook or a note on your phone of phrases you hear that you like. Not just single words, but full phrases. Things like, now that you mention it, or that's a good point, or I was just about to say that.
Because English fluency isn't really about knowing a lot of individual words. It's about knowing how to string phrases together naturally.
Exactly. Like a native speaker doesn't think about grammar when they talk. They just reach for phrases they've heard 1,000 times and they put them together. And the more phrases you know, the more natural you sound.
Fourth habit, find someone to talk to. A tutor, a language exchange partner, a friend who speaks English. Even 10 minutes of real conversation a week is worth more than hours of passive studying.
And if you really can't find anyone, talk to yourself. I know it sounds weird. Alex, you do this too, right?
I absolutely talk to myself in French. My roommate thinks I've lost it.
Fifth habit. Watch the same content more than once. This is a trick I use with Spanish. I'll watch a short video, and the first time I just watch it for understanding. The second time, I pause and repeat sentences. The third time, I watch without subtitles. Each time I catch something new.
That is such a smart approach. Your brain needs repetition to really lock things in. Hearing something once is usually not enough.
Okay. I also want to talk about something that I think doesn't get enough attention, and that's the emotional side of language learning.
What do you mean?
Like, learning a language is not just an intellectual thing. It's a very emotional experience. You feel embarrassed when you make mistakes. You feel proud when you have a successful conversation. You feel frustrated when you feel like you're not improving. You might even feel a little, I don't know, like a different version of yourself.
That's so true. Like when I speak French, I feel like a different Alex. A much less articulate Alex, but still.
Same. And I think acknowledging that emotional experience is important because on the hard days, when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, it's easy to want to quit. And we don't want that.
Improvement in language learning is not linear. Some days you feel amazing, some days you feel like you forgot everything, and both of those days are totally normal.
There's actually a term for when you feel like you're getting worse, even though you're actually improving. It's sometimes called the plateau. You're at a level where you've gotten comfortable with the basics, but you haven't broken through to the next level yet.
And that plateau can last a while, and it's discouraging, but it doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're about to level up.
So if you're in that place right now, if you're at a level where you understand a lot, but you still feel stuck, just know that is completely normal. Keep going.
Okay, I want to end with something a little personal, because I think it might help.
Sure, go for it.
When I started learning French, I thought I'd be fluent in like 6 months, because that's what some apps kind of promise you, right?
The little cartoon owl?
Exactly. And 6 months passed, and I was nowhere near fluent, and I felt terrible about myself. Like, what's wrong with me? Why is this so hard?
And what changed?
I stopped comparing my progress to some imaginary timeline, and I started measuring it against where I was 6 months before. And when I did that, I realized, actually, I've come a really long way. I can understand things now that I couldn't even pick up before. I can have simple conversations. That's real progress.
That's such a healthy way to look at it. And I think that's the message we want to leave English learners with today. Stop comparing yourself to native speakers. Stop comparing yourself to that one friend who seems to pick up languages effortlessly. Compare yourself to the version of you who started, and give yourself credit for how far you've come.
Because learning a language is one of the hardest things a person can do. And the fact that you're doing it, that you're listening to a podcast like this one, that you're putting in the effort, that already puts you ahead of most people.
You are doing great, seriously.
All right, let's wrap up. Today, we talked about why studying grammar alone isn't enough, why listening to real, natural English is so important, why making mistakes is actually a good sign, and 5 practical habits you can start this week.
And, most importantly, we talked about being kind to yourself through this process. Language learning takes time. It is not a race.
If you enjoyed this episode, share it with someone who is learning English, because honestly, the best thing you can do for a language learner is let them know they're not alone.
Okay, one more thing before we go. If everything we talked about today made sense to you, but you're sitting there thinking, okay, but where do I actually start? We have the perfect episode for you.
Yes, it is called Listen and Repeat, 50 English Sentences for Daily Life. And honestly, it is exactly what it sounds like.
We go through 50 real, everyday English sentences, the kind of sentences you actually need, not textbook stuff. Things like ordering food, making plans with friends, asking for help, small talk at work.
And the whole point is simple. You listen and you repeat. That's it. No grammar explanations, no long lessons, just your ears and your voice getting used to natural English.
It is probably the most practical episode we have made so far. Great for beginners, but honestly useful at any level.
Go check it out. It is this video on the left side.
All right, now we are really done.
Bye, everyone.
See you in the next one.